But that kind of leads me. So Tony did want us to talk about something.
Oh, really?
Talk about movies.
Which one?
Well, he wanted to know what you think is the most underrated horror movie.
The most? Oh, geez.
Or if there's multiple, like, yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
there are
like
multiple
impossible.
underrated horror movies in your mind. I have one that comes to mind for me just because I think it's so divided of if people like it or if they fucking hate it. Like, there's not really like the middle for the one I'm thinking.
Okay. Is it Skinamarink?
No, I never saw that one.
People love it or hate it.
Yeah.
And I am a little outer. That's tough. I feel like a lot of things I feel are underappreciated. But I'm also like...
You're like, I go against the grain.
Well, I've been accused of being that, like, angry, you know, I liked it before it was cool. Like, it's just adopted it. It's the cards I've been dealt. I will say there is a movie called... those are good, too. No, I will say, there's one called Deathwatch. It's underrated because not many people, I don't think, have heard of it. Do you know who... Shit. I lost his name. There was you remember Batman with the vampire guy, Team Edward guy? I can't think of his name.
Oh, yeah.
That Batman? Do you remember?
Edward Cullen.
Yes. Do you remember that?
His real name is
Albert?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. Okay, so that Batman, his butler, what is his damn name? Oh my God, he does Gollum's voice. It's the guy who does Gollum's voice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's so cool. It's right there. What's his name? Thank you. Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis is in this movie. It's about all these guys in World War I in this trench. And you know how, like, there's like the no man's land, what they would call it, where it's just flat, foggy, smoke, all of that, waiting for shit to happen. Yeah. It's a horror movie basically from the standpoint of being in a trench in World War I, going crazy. There's so much cool shit in that movie, and I feel like I just want to tell people about it because it's like, I don't know, it's great acting. It's an original idea. I mean, World War I is not original, but like seeing people go crazy in this trench of nasty, muddy war, but then also having the horror aspect. Great movie, Deathwatch. I think that one is like criminally unheard of. Okay. But the list could go on and on. I'm sure everybody listening has 10 they can name off the top of their heads.
I would be really
What about you? Do you know many like underground or not super popular?
Well, the one that I was like thinking about it because, yeah, you know, I don't watch a ton of movies in general, but the one that came to mind for me is It Follows.
Oh, I love It Follows.
I know. I love It Follows.
Say.
But there's a lot of people that hate it that say that it's like, that say it's overrated. So in my opinion, I think it's very underrated because it still scares me. Like
so what's the question? It's not popular. It should be known or
underrated. I think It Follows is underrated because I think people, the reasons that they give for not liking it doesn't make sense to me because I think, yeah, like, you know, the whole premise of, you know, it's passed on, you know, through sexual relations or things like that.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's weird, but like the premise of this thing never stops and it's always coming for you and you don't know where it is in the line. You don't know what's going to happen. That is fucking
when you're sleeping, terrifying. You know somewhere in the world that it is walking towards you right now.
And depending on how many people it's been passed on to, it could be tomorrow, it could be in a year. No matter what, eventually it's going to make its way to you.
And if you, or you'll die.
And you never know. I'm like, I could be sitting here, like, you could have walked in that door and I could have thought it was you. And it's actually the thing, And I'll be I have to be like, see, do you see
and it's always just walking. The fact that it's in no hurry because it knows it's going to get you. And maybe
this is like scaring me.
maybe you passed it on to like 20 more people down the line and they maybe passed it on to 20, but you have no idea when they die and when it comes back to you. So you're always looking over your shoulder for your entire life. I had a nightmare about that once. Not about the whole passing down with like the sex thing, but like I had a nightmare where it was like I was looking in a crowd or on a street or down a road and there was someone dead locked eyes with me. Just no like evil face, but just like walking towards me. And I remember in my dream, I was hiding in my house that I woke up in and I was literally like looking through my front blinds out my window, and I saw this person walking down the street, and I knew they were looking for me. I didn't know why, and I knew they were not going to stop. But it was this like horrifying feeling. And when I saw It Follows, I was watching it by myself, and I was like, this movie isn't terrifying, but it is because I had this feeling in a nightmare once. And the scene where she's in the school and she's sitting at her desk and it's walking across the campus at her through the window. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And when it comes through the window, when it just like flops into... Okay, It Follows. I'm so glad you know that one. I will say it is pretty popular. More people that I talk about with It Follows, they know.
I feel like there's both sides of the spectrum though. There's not really anyone that's been like, yeah, It Follows is okay. Like it's like you're either you fucking love it.
Oh, that was a dumb movie. It was a stupid movie. It was really good. Yeah, that's true.
I think people that don't think it's scary or they didn't like it, like, I mean, they probably are like thinking about it this way, but for me, it's like, yeah, it's the thing that never stops. And like you're saying, it could be passed on to 20 people, 200 people, whatever. But are those people taking the time to sit there and explain what is happening? Like that takes a long time. The person isn't going to believe you until they see it. And the two, you know what? Also, my cousin brought up a really good point. So she had never seen the Smile movies. So we watched Smile 1 and then we watched Smile 2. Like,
still haven't seen Smile 2.
It's Smile 1. I almost I think, well, I'll get back to that. But she said that Smile is kind of reminiscent of It Follows.
Yes.
Because it's like, you know, it's like being passed on in certain ways and it has to like have like a whole, like, you know what I mean? It like has to have someone that it like infects almost. But yeah, so Smile and Smile 2, Smile 1 does a great job of laying the groundwork for like what it is and like, you know, explaining like what the demon is and how it works and stuff like that. And Smile 2 is almost like, in my opinion, I think better than Smile 1 because
that's what I hear all the time. Because the first one I thought was not great until the very, very end.
I mean, I still thought it was really good. I thought it was
good, but I thought the ending was great. I was like, I want that.
Yeah.
And so everybody says the second one is more that, and that's why I'm like, oh, I need to see it. Everyone that I hear has said Smile 2 is way better.
It's really good.
Yeah.
The acting is incredible. The cast is crazy, and like even too like the music, like. You know, the main girl, like it's like a pop star. Yeah. Like the music is really good too. But yeah, for me, I think a very underrated, I mean, just in my opinion of like what underrated means to me.
Like you think it should be up there.
I think it should be more, I think it is seen more as like a culty movie kind of, and it's not super mainstream. A lot of people don't know what It Follows is. So I think it's underrated in that way.
I would say another reason why I think it's a little bit more popular is because the lead chick that plays Jay in It Follows is also she's the lead in Long Legs.
She's incredible.
Which is huge. Now that probably, you know, got her on the radar a ton. But on top of that, she's also, I just saw a preview for a movie. I was looking for a horror movie last night. You remember the girl from Kick-Ass? She was a little girl. Now she's like grown up, but she's like a full-on actress now. She's doing I can't remember her name. She's kind of like unique looking. She's not like a typical, just like looks like anybody else. You know what I'm talking about. And the second you see her, you'd be like, oh yeah.
Are you talking about Chloe Grace Moretz?
Yes, she is in a movie with the girl who plays Jay in another horror movie, and I was like, oh, I want to watch this, and it actually looks really good. So I was like, oh, that's another movie she's in. So like, I can't remember her name, but that chick she's in a lot of good stuff. A lot of big, kind of like right under the surface. Cause like Long Legs is pretty mainstream. So like,
yeah, they made a big splash.
But like It Follows is pretty up there and almost into like that threshold of like huge, but like Deathwatch, even with Andy Serkis, no one's even like heard of it.
You know what? And it's so crazy because as you're explaining it, it sounds like such a cool premise. I love a good historical piece in the first place, but adding that with like the
psychological thrill, psychological horror of what really like the psychology of war and humanity, it's terrifying.